We are back on the Gold Coast with our brand new Caravan, and once again rules and regulations in the caravanning industry are being talked about. It's a hot topic because there are brand new rules and regulations coming in November, and we are here with the guys from Enerdrive, or Remi from Enerdrive, who knows...
You're saying I'm from Enerdrive, are you?
He's
pretty clever.
He's close enough these days.
The bald man in the corner. Remi knows all about these upcoming changes. And he's going to run us through them.
100%. We've been getting so many messages. You know, your van, does it apply with the new laws that are coming into play? And we're like...
Yeah, it feels like the last 6 months is all we spoke about is standards, what's coming, and look, there is some changes coming, guys. So, you know, battery standard. So to cover it off, it's a portable, connectable electrical installation. So basically...
Say that quickly.
Oh, I'm not even going to try. So basically what it means is if you've got a 15 amp inlet on the side of your Caravan, canopy, whatever the situation may be, and it is a portable structure that contains batteries, chargers, inverters, you need to comply to this standard. The standard encompasses everything from 240 installations, batteries, chargers, solar. It's the whole lot. So, you know, it's quite a big change that's coming through.
Yep.
It's not impossible to achieve. It's actually quite simple. So, you know, it's a point that we're going to go over today. Really good to see with the titanium guys. These guys have actually been doing the solar standard for over 12 months. It's been...
So solar standard fusing
protection. Yeah, absolutely. So they've actually been doing this for over 12 months already, which is brilliant.
It's
great to see. Always getting in front of it, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, the last piece of the puzzle for these guys is just changing how their battery compartments are done. Very quick and easy change. We'll go over this one today. I know that a few of you guys have already said that this particular van isn't compliant to the new standards, and look, that's perfectly fine because this van was delivered well before this standard is coming into effect. Absolutely. And the standard is not a retrospectively enforceable standard. So if you've already got a van out there now, it's got lithium, inverter installations, anything like that, and you're worried about the new standard changes coming out that you need to make a change, there's no need to make a change at all. It is not a retrospectively enforceable standard. Only if you're doing an upgrade to your existing system from, say, AGM batteries to lithium, that's when you've got to start to have a look at the standard, or just make sure that your particular installer is, you know, following the standard, doing what needs to be done to be compliant.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it's important to point out that the system that we have, even though it's not compliant, doesn't mean that it's unsafe. Correct?
No, that's right.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. So there's no you know, risk factor really with lithium phosphate batteries. There's been a whole lot of talk out there at the moment about lithium batteries in general. It's kind of a gross generalization. You know, lithium batteries is one thing. Yes, drill batteries do catch fire. We do have issues with, you know, electric scooters and things like that are, you know, possibly not as stringent on their testing as it possibly could be. But lithium phosphate batteries being quite a different chemistry to that style of lithium, it's extremely safe. You know, we've done extensive testing with these batteries, and we have no risk of thermal runaway issues whatsoever.
So no need to be panicking. Hey?
No, none whatsoever. Yeah.
Well, let's run through the system.
Yeah, let's dive in. Have a good look at it.
Yep. We are over the driver's side of the Caravan. We have this beautiful barn door. No, it's not a pet door. It's not a little door for Miriam to escape. This is where our battery system is. I'll do the honours, Remi, or what do you think?
Mate, yeah, go ahead.
Check this out.
Yeah.
How's that for an amazing system? Remi, talk us through it, mate. Amazing.
But yeah, I really do love this system that we've worked with Titanium to create. It's awesome. You know, we're incorporating a lot of the requirements for the new standards here as well, guys, which is really great to see. So we've got all of our dangerous warning labels for all of our 240 as well as our DC. We've also obviously got our multiple supplies warning. So we've got different, obviously, 240 inputs and outputs in this location. We've also got our solar breakers up the top here. I mean, on top of that, we're utilising some space we're never going to use before, right?
100%. This was a dead space in a Caravan.
Absolutely.
And obviously storage, especially when I live with this lovely wife here, storage is a key.
Yeah.
So utilising dead space is amazing. Serviceability as well.
Oh, it's brilliant. Like being able to get to all of our connections and they're just here rather than having to, you know, pull up all the couch cushions, get in underneath everything else. Yeah. Makes a huge difference.
All we need for this one is a ladder for him to be able to push the open button.
It's all right, guys. I was here today. I got the top latch for him, so it's all under control.
And while we're talking about labels, there needs to be one Miriam don't touch. Can we put that in there as well?
Yeah, we can specifically print that up for you. Yeah, no dramas.
Happy days.
Right.
Here we are now inside the van. Mate, battery's sitting right here. You want to give us a bit of a rundown on the new laws? Yeah,
absolutely. So obviously, you know, battery standards are coming through. Some changes are coming through with the new standards coming into play. It's not the end of the world. You know, it's not super difficult to achieve these standards. Mounting batteries inside of vans, it's still okay as long as it's being placed within a non-habitable area. So storage locations, tunnel boots, lounge spaces, secured battery compartments under beds, that's all perfectly fine. We'll go over this particular fitment here. So obviously your van is pre the standards.
Yes.
So at the moment they're not fully encapsulated, but we'll go over the changes that Titanium are going to be making into the future to make sure that all the batteries are compliant, sealed, following the battery manufacturer's installation guide.
Yep.
So that's obviously the key piece that everyone needs to be aware of, that whenever you're putting batteries internally inside of a Caravan, being it within a non-habitable space, you need to be following your particular battery manufacturer's guide. So they should be providing you with a battery fitment guide as to how you should be mounting those batteries, properly securing the batteries, the compartment that they should be mounted within, ventilation requirements for that battery, and their thermal runaway responses. So if a battery is a particular chemistry that is going to have a thermal runaway response, you know, what material do I need to make my box out of? Do I need to have, you know, fire retardant material or anything like that? Now, rest assured, Enerdrive batteries, all lithium phosphate, we don't have an issue with thermal runaway with these batteries. We're totally fine with your box being made out of any material as long as it's of a gas-proof nature. So normal seat box location, totally fine. We'd just be partitioning off the batteries underneath that space, changing the lid so that it doesn't have a physical hole in the top of it, so just having like a latch on top, gasket seal on the base of the lid itself, and then just screwing that down with fixings. So, so that if you were to access that, it needs to be done by tooling.
Fine. So look, if I was worried about being with the standards, obviously pre-November, I don't have to worry about it.
No, absolutely.
It's not a difficult job to bring it back up to the standards.
No.
If we ever wanted to, however, just for a piece of
so if you know you had a fitment as an example with AGM batteries in this space and we were doing an upgrade to lithium, it wouldn't be drastic. You know, we're only taking out the AGM batteries that are there, putting the lithium batteries in that space and encapsulating them within their own box. So be it of a suitable material with the correct ventilation, you're good to go.
Perfect. So. You want to drop a link for the standards, I think?
Absolutely. I will drop a link because you guys have your own standards on your website.
Yeah. So we've all of our BTEC batteries, we've got a full document in very simple terminology so that you don't have to go out and buy the $180 standard that's over 100 pages long and try to read every particular part of that and understand everything.
Even I can understand this one.
We're giving you something nice and simple, really clear, concise, gives you all the answers you need. Quick and easy fitment. So.
And I will drop a link in the video description.
Absolutely. We'll jump into the fusing side of it. And
we'll go over the solar part and give you guys a bit more of an in-depth look at the battery fitment and the changes that'll happen there. A big portion of this new standard is batteries and solar. Now, we're going to cover off on the solar part here. Now, it's awesome to see Titanium have been doing the particular fusing and requirements for the solar for quite some time, which is really, really good to see. The requirements with the new standard ask for individual fusing per panel prior to those panels being joined in parallel. That's the reason why we've got these fuse blocks 1 and 2, 1 per controller. So the reason behind this fusing is if you are ever to have a short circuit, so say panel number 1 here has had a short circuit for whatever reason, something has gone wrong on the roof. It's not going to go backwards through all of the other paralleled panels there, causing an issue with the rest of the system, which is brilliant. We're only going to blow the 1 fuse. The other 3 panels that are within that string are still going to be working perfectly fine, which is perfect, exactly what we want. Now, even after you've joined each of these panels in parallel, we've got our single output there, which is then going to go down to our individual circuit breaker, which is already on the board that's hidden behind the fridge here. Now, that particular circuit breaker is a requirement of the standards. You need to have a fuse, a circuit breaker, or a point of isolation. So should you ever need to check the system, test something within the system, you need a circuit breaker so that you can isolate that system and then go back through that system and test whatever you need to. Now, guys, this is actually a really good thing. It really helps with troubleshooting. Should you be thinking you're having an issue with a particular panel on the roof, you can simply pull out 1 fuse at a time and check what your solar controllers are doing. Really isolating whether, yes, I may be having an issue with that panel, or no, I'm actually having an issue with something else in the system. Really brilliant for the troubleshooting side of things. Improving our safety while we're out there is always a good thing, and having a single point of isolation should we need to check, test, or change anything in the system. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, we're going to go over the battery fitment here. Now, this is a big part of the new standards, and there's quite a bit of confusion around it. So just clearing up a few things from Enerdrive's side, we have our battery fitment guide available on our website. Just if you have any questions, make sure you have a good look over that one first, and if you still have queries, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to answer anything for you. Moving forward with battery fitments, you do not need to mount your batteries outside of the Caravan. They are perfectly fine to be installed internally, underneath your lounge spaces, underneath your bed spaces, tunnel boots, etc. Any of your storage locations, just keep in mind, those are non-habitable areas. Anything like that is a non-habitable area of your Caravan, perfectly fine to mount your batteries under there. This particular installation here is 3/4 of the way there. All that we need to do to make this completely compliant to the new standards is to ensure that we had a partition segregating our batteries that are on this side of this lounge space away from the rest of the electronics in this lounge space. We would have a lid that goes across the top here. instead of it having the hole like we normally do, it'll just have a latch on top and a gasket seal that runs across the top here to make sure that that particular portion of this build is classed as gas proof. Now, you need to make sure that that lid is fixed down by tooling, so screws, bolts, etc. That's all perfectly fine. And just at fixing a label, which is an advisement from us, we would suggest that you have it there just saying that this particular part of the van has been sealed, so that if you do have any issues or anything like that, the gas is going to go outside of the Caravan, not inside the Caravan. The warning label just basically states that it's been sealed for your safety and just the reasons behind that to comply with the particular standards. Now, the ventilation piece, it only requires a single vent, 20 mil in size, to the external of the Caravan. So really easy to achieve. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Some customers are looking at pressure relief valves and one-way vents and that sort of thing, which is totally fine to use. You can have, scupper vents on the bottom of the van or small vents on the wall that have, graphite filters and that sort of stuff in there to stop any dust ingress and whatnot. All of those solutions are perfectly fine to use. Guys, I want to stress, this is not difficult to achieve. You don't need to mount the batteries outside. You can mount them the way that you have been. They just need to be within their own battery compartment. Now, that battery compartment for us can be made out of any material as long as it's gas proof. So you can make that out of, say, the same pliers we've got here with Sikaflex seals and the likes. You can make it out of, fiberglass, aluminium, whatever takes your fancy, as long as it's a sealed location. Now, because our batteries are lithium phosphate based, we do not have a thermal runaway risk with these batteries. So we don't need to have any fire suppressant materials or anything like that within our battery compartment. Guys, I hope this answers a few questions for you. If you have anything further, as I said, just feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help.
Hey, that was a lot of information to digest. Mate, questions, what do you reckon? We answer them?
Yeah, mate, absolutely happy to. Yeah, there's a lot of questions out there, a lot of different opinions is probably the easiest way to explain it out there, and different understandings. So
there you go. So, mate, hit your questions.
Yep.
Slam them down the bottom, and I think we might do a separate video with you guys. Hey, what do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm more than happy to go through it. If there's something that I haven't covered for you guys already, or if there's something that's a bit sort of out of the scope that you want to ask a question about the standards, feel free. I'm more than happy to go through it.
Perfect. We could be here for a few hours, mate. I think there's going to be a lot of questions.
Yeah, might need.
Well, we hope so. We want to, adjust, clarify everything with you guys.
Absolutely.
We want to make it as clear as we can. We actually have a whole bunch of videos we filmed with Dave from Enerdrive about a year ago, where we answered hundreds of your questions. So if you do want to refer back to those, you can have a look through them. And if the questions haven't been answered there, feel free to flick them through, and we'll have a crack at it.
Yeah,
100%.
There's no issues out there. There's no dramas with batteries or anything like that. So if you've got questions about it, hit us up. More than happy to answer anything.
Thanks for watching, guys, and
thank you very much.